My name is the Red Wizard, and I recently painted a mural for the Hertel Alley Mural Fest in Buffalo, New York. The fest was a 2-day long event where myself and 24 other artists were challenged to create a mural to beautify the alley in, just 2 days. This is my first outdoor mural, so I was pretty nervous. I was worried about, the paint bubbling. I've never painted on rough brick before. The reason I was worried about the paint bubbling and stuff is because when you're painting an outdoor mural, there's a lot more challenges than indoor, murals such as sun, weather, vandalism, things like that. Uh, this was honestly one of the best weekends of my life. Myself and the 24 other artists were super excited to be there. Everybody was very helpful. The local councilman and the organization ASIWNY that put on the event, they closed down the street. They made sure everybody was well hydrated. They paid the artists, which was great. So that was a huge thing for me, actually, because I have plenty of paints and stuff at home. And, I could have done this on a tighter budget. But the fact that the artists were getting paid and I was getting paid, I was able to go to Hyatt's and grab this really awesome paint called mural paint, which I'm using right now. The mural paint was a super opaque paint that went on very, very thin, so it got in all the nooks and crannies of the bricks. A lot of other artists use spray paint, but I don't have too much experience with spray paint, and I did not want to kind of gamble on that for my first kind of big outdoor mural debut. The folks using the spray paint mentioned that it gets into the lines and nooks and crannies of the bricks much easier and much faster. And from looking at everyone else's murals that was using the spray paint, I could say that's definitely the case. So next time, I'm going to be a little bit more bold and use spray paint. As far as the design for this mural, I knew I wanted to do an eyeball. It's become somewhat of a trademark of mine, which is cool. But as you can see on the wall, there's a huge pipe sticking out of the wall, and I couldn't really center an eyeball on there. Oh, that's Marcus, one of my tattoo artists. Good dude, good dude. So I had to raise the eyeball up kind of off center on the wall. Another thing is, part of this challenge was I had the responsibility to cover all of the space, which includes the space underneath the windows and the space in between the windows. So I decided to not just have an eyeball, but kind of turn it into a being. Now, my being has lots of limbs, and when people were asking me, like, what was your inspiration for this and stuff, I really just completely went with the flow. Other than the eyeball, I really didn't have a plan. I picked a color palette out that I really liked, and just really went for it. The limbs were a complete improvisation. On the left that I'm painting right now is actually supposed to be just a really big hand for the being, but when I was taking a little break, I saw a person inside of the hand. So I guess to get back to inspiration, I'm very much inspired by the philosophy of Vedanta or non-dualism. I think that all of us are one being, and in our truest core, we are divine, and that consciousness, that divine consciousness that ties us all together is actually who we truly are. I wanted to avoid any kind of hermetic symbology or religious symbolism or anything like that. I wanted to make it these deep philosophical ideas more accessible to the public. So a big eyeball, some kind of cute people, and a strange monster type thing I thought would be a good vehicle for that. Initially, I wanted to put the words, "Who are you?" inside the eyeball. Because one of my comics that I'm working on, Microdose, which is essentially about non-dualism, had a very similar design. But again, the big exhaust pipe really wouldn't allow me to do that. I was limited to my eyeball space. Throughout the mural, I wasn't sure if I was going to ever be able to include text or where I couldn't fit it. So, well, we'll see how that goes, right? A lot of friends and family stopped by to say hello. Definitely a few random folks that were just kind of showing the love, which was awesome. I am a ginger, and as you can see, I have not lost my freshman 15 from college almost 20 years ago. But this was a very, very hot for me. I do not do that well in the sun. So the first day where I expanded the prime of the wall and painted the yellow being really just completely hammered me. I was having a ton of fun, but I got super dehydrated and tired. Uh, there's a gigantic basement door in the middle of my wall too, and this thing was like really slippery, and I definitely almost fell off it a handful of times. When I went home at night and when I woke up, I felt like I'd been playing soccer or something all day from standing on this thing. I'm not a huge fan of ladders, but I had a nice sturdy one to bring with me, which definitely came in handy. As you can see, my wall is on a side street that's Traymore. So my mural's at Traymore and Hertel Avenue, right behind Burning Question Tattoo. The dudes at Burning Question Tattoo are super awesome, and I've actually gotten a bunch of tattoos from them. Um, my big back piece was done by Josh at Burning Question, and I have a Mecha Godzilla on my stomach I'm still working on by Marcus. Marcus stopped by and said hello earlier, and I don't know, man. There was just so much like serendipity where I wanted my mural to be asking a question in text, "Who are you?" And just by luck of the draw, the ASIWNY assigned me this wall space, which was directly behind Burning Question. I can't stress enough how much this festival made me feel like I became part of an artist community, but also let me, participate in my community in North Buffalo. I don't live in North Buffalo. I live a few miles away from it, but whenever I want to go to a nice bite to eat with my wife or meet up with my friends for a drink, North Buffalo is definitely my spot to go. And I have a lot of friends and family that live in North Buffalo, so yeah, just so awesome. The energy and the vibe was so high. Everyone was so excited to be there. And if you go to art festivals in Buffalo, Allentown Art Festival is the most popular art festival, but it's also super busy and overcrowded, and there's a lot of tchotchke type stuff for sale, and I don't know, artwork I'm not super into. So I've been telling people that if you visit Buffalo, definitely check out the Hertel Alley, and if you're in town for the Hertel Alley Fest, this is to me like the Allentown Art Fest for people in the know. It's just more chill. There's nice places to eat and drink just around the corner, and yeah, just a super awesome time. If any of you would be interested in having a mural painted in your home or building, definitely be willing to travel pretty much anywhere in the continental United States. I really hope to do more work like this. My particular journey as an artist has kind of been this long arc of me coming back home, coming back to my roots, falling back in love with the things that I used to love to make when I was little, particularly monsters. If I'm honest with myself, I really wanted to be probably a comic book artist when I was maybe 7 or 8 years old, and as I got older and my I guess taste got more refined. Ugh, I hate saying it that way. I got super into surrealists like H.R. Geiger and Salvador Dali, very, very much artists who create dreamlike work, and monstrous work, and strange work. And only until recently, about a year ago, when I was digging through my old comic collection, did I realize, like, whoa, like when I started the Red Wizard collage project, I wasn't letting myself draw or paint or make any monsters or anything like that. And I have this growing desire to do more and more work that is much more free and kind of expresses more of who I am. For about 5 or 6 years, when I started Red Wizard Collage, I did not let myself draw or paint because I wanted to solely focus on collage making. I kind of needed to do that for myself to rein myself in. I've got way more ideas than I have time, and I learned a tremendous amount making collages for only about 5 or 6 years because it forced me to really stretch and dig and pull on everything that I could do with collage. Now I'm entering a phase where I want to do more than collage. I have literally over a decade of sketchbooks of drawings and things like that that I've created. Funny enough, that decade does not include about 5 years of not letting myself draw. So now I'm like backpedaling and trying to learn how to draw and paint as fast as I can. I have done a bunch of paintings in the past, but I never really formally learned how to do it, in art school or anything like that. My formal education is in photography, and I got my master's degree in landscape architecture, which I just tell people architecture because they think I went to graduate school for learning how to spread mulch like their uncle. I do know how to spread mulch, but that's not what I studied in school. But anyway, guys, I hope you like this mural. I'm going to share a picture of the finished product at the end of this time lapse. And please, if you or anyone you know would like a mural like this somewhere in your city, please hit me up, the Red Wizard. Thanks.